The road portion of the Belt and Road Initiative was a maritime trade route that connects important strategic portal locations from China to Europe, with stops in Africa and the Middle East. Establishing a maritime trade route is not a new initiative by China. From the 2nd century BCE, China started building a network of trade routes connecting the East and West. The Silk Road primarily refers to the land but also sea routes connecting China with South Asia, Persia, the Arabian Peninsula, East Africa, and Southern Europe. In the 15th century, a Chinese explorer named Zheng He commanded the treasure voyages to Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, and East Africa. The expedition was designed to establish a Chinese presence and impose imperial control over the Indian Ocean trade, impress foreign peoples in the Indian Ocean basin, and extend the empire's tributary system. Between 1405 and 1433, the Ming government sponsored 7 naval expeditions with the treasure voyages. The Chinese maritime exploits brought many foreign countries into the nation's tributary system and sphere of influence through both military and political supremacy. Zheng He's expedition thus incorporated the states into the Greater Chinese World Order. Moreover, the Chinese restructured and established control over an expansive maritime network in which the region became integrated and its countries became under China's control.
China didn't go to sea for fun. China went to sea to make money. It's about prestige and power. It's about things that kings and emperors are always interested in. He was saying, look at me, I can do this. Here's something that my predecessors didn't do. They didn't send big fleets. They didn't operate in these areas. Look at me, I'm even bigger and stronger than the last guy. It's a mafia-like operation. I'll look after you if you treat me nicely. The emperor is the godfather of Asia. He's in control of everything, and he likes to remind people of this quite forcefully now and again, and he gets paid off in whatever it is he likes to be paid in. So it's that kind of relationship. It's an enforcing, it's subtle, but it's quite clear. If you mess with the Chinese emperor, he can take you down.
To align with this Chinese dream of supremacy, Xi Jinping has been building Red China's naval power.
This is a photo of a shipyard in China. It shows 9 warships, a missile defense system, an aircraft carrier, and a hovercraft, all being built simultaneously in Shanghai. And this is just one of several shipyards churning out warships. All these ships are part of China's new navy, which started off as a coastal defense force protecting its shores, and has rapidly become a massive group of integrated fleets, capable of reaching further and further out as China becomes a global military power. But China insists it's not interested in using all this power to dominate the region. According to a recent government report, the Navy is only there to defend itself and its interests, and will never try to seek hegemony, expansion, or spheres of influence. So what does China's rapid naval expansion mean for its neighbors?
Top U.S. commander in the Pacific warning about the threat of China, and he did it yesterday.
Now, if you would, let me focus my remarks on the greatest long-term strategic threat to security in the 21st century, China. In stark contrast to our free and open vision, the Communist Party of China promotes a closed and an authoritarian system through internal oppression and external aggression. China's pernicious approach to the region includes a whole-of-party effort to coerce, corrupt, and co-opt governments businesses, organizations, and the people of the Indo-Pacific. As China continues to increase the size of the People's Liberation Army and advance their own joint capabilities, the military balance in the Indo-Pacific is becoming more unfavorable for the United States and our allies.
The Chinese Navy is the largest in the world. It has 350 battle force ships as opposed to the US Navy's 293 ships. Furthermore, China has also armed its huge fishing fleet, creating the only maritime militia in the world to augment its navy. The armed militia have recently attacked Vietnamese civilian fishing boats in Vietnam's waters.
China's large Coast Guard fleets are supplemented by maritime militias, posing as fishermen but answering directly to the military. They have harassed Vietnamese and Filipino fishing fleets in an effort to control resource-rich regions like the South China Sea. And some regional leaders have already accepted China's economic dominance.
When sea says, I will fish, who can prevent him?
China's naval forces now operate on a two-track path. On the one hand, its militias and Coast Guard are dominating vital regions, intimidating the vessels of other countries in order to establish control.
What we've seen in the last few years is when there's been disputes, there's been a constant reaching for diplomatic channels. It's a diplomatic game that China is playing and other countries are playing in the region.
On the other, the size and power of the Navy itself is stopping China's neighbours from pushing back against this low-level harassment.
China doesn't want to engage in a military strategy. It uses military power to enhance its influence across the region, but it's all part of the same package.
Even though the seas surrounding China are increasingly under its control, its navy hasn't slowed down. Instead, it has extended its reach, with China's navy running joint exercises further afield with Pakistan, Iran, South Africa, and Russia.
Beijing has become more assertive in its territorial disputes with its neighbors, from India to Taiwan to the South China Sea. Red China is also testing its far seas reach in exploring potential bases from Myanmar to Africa and South America.
And if you go to Africa, if you go to South Asia, you find the Chinese are there. So you can see a new treasure fleet from China is around the world. Maybe not in a real sense fleet, but the influence, China influence is there.
In Belt and Road deals, countries can lose sovereignty and China can gain assets. Sri Lanka had to hand over a port when it couldn't afford debt payments to China. To build a Belt and Road railroad with a Chinese loan, Kenya agreed to apply Chinese law inside of Kenya and give up East Africa's largest port if it couldn't repay its debts. To pay for South America's largest dam, Ecuador is selling 80% of its most valuable asset, oil, to China at a discount. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir called China the new colonizer and Belt and Road projects predatory.
Everything is imported, mostly from China. Workers were from China. All the parts and the material were from China. And the payment for the contract were also to be made in China. That means that Malaysia doesn't get any benefit at all.
China is using its Belt and Road Initiative to expand its influence around the world, and with the ultimate goal of becoming the new emperor of the world.